price. We added on the purchase price. We were left with a number, and that number left us about $1.5 million after 15 or 16 months. Do you think we gave a you-know-what about 9.9%? All right, so imagine now that you just met a lovely girl in high school, like Rachel did, met this lovely guy in high school. I think it was junior high. I think actually she's a little weird, and I think it was kindergarten. So she meets this guy in kindergarten, seduces him, falls in love with him in kindergarten. Here she is years later. She's got 3 children with him. I think one of them was delivered in kindergarten, actually. And here's Rachel, and she loves this guy, Patrick, who's a lovely chap. And they go, I would just love a place we can call our own, that I can do my thing in the kitchen, and the kids can play in the garden. Has anybody heard that before? Or am I just a complete romanticist? Okay, good. So they want that place. And somebody comes along and says, great, which they've said traditionally. Their grandparents say, great, you need 20% down. Their parents say, yeah, you need 10% down. Do you remember the mortgage crisis, 2008? And can I just have a quick word for parents of millennials? Would you please stop screwing up your kids? Would you please stop talking about 2008, which happened one more time in the history of the United States in 1925? So you were just unlucky enough 100 years later that hit you. Please stop screwing up your kids. They don't need 20% down. They don't need 10% down. They can buy a home with 3.5% down. Also, please stop screwing up your kids, telling them they need to get the lowest interest rate. No, they need to get a home, because if an interest rate is 1.5% higher, is everybody listening to me? If an interest rate is hallelujah, amen. Let's hear a glory in the room. All right, so listen, if it's 1.5% higher and it's a $400,000 loan, what's 1.5%, $400,000? How much is it? Hit me with a number right now. $6,000. So if it's 1.5% higher and it costs $6,000 and they do that for 3 years, how much more have they spent on that interest rate? $18,000. 3 years ago, if you bought a home for $450,000 in Murrieta, it is today worth $625,000. Last time I noticed, that's $185,000. Can anybody in this room tell me that the parents were more intelligent, saying, don't waste your money on a high interest rate? That parent just screwed you for $162,000. So we need to stop looking back in the rearview mirror and look forward at the opportunity that kids and millennials have. Millennials is the fastest growing, most able group to buy homes in the history of the United States of America. So if a millennial is worried about their debt to income ratio, they're going to look at their student loans, you're going to look at different things, but they may not have enough money. If they don't have enough money, they need money for what? For a down payment and closing costs. So if they get DPA and it's 1.5% higher, and that costs them $6,000 more a year for 3 years, and they make $180,000 on the property, 180 minus 18 is what? It's 162,000. So get them into DPA. Quit the negative, drain the negative, flush the negative, purge the negative, purify the negative, shoot the negative if you have to. Get people into homes. Does everybody understand?
Yeah.
Right. So if you don't have money, I'll calm down now. Anytime somebody starts to just take away the American dream, I get fired up. Fired up. And you wonder, how did Andrew sell 2,500 homes? And I make a big fuss when I sell 6. I sold 2,500. You know what? Look in my eyes. Look at it. Passion. Wild, ferocious passion. Because I came here with squat. And I bought my first house, 15.5%. VA repo. Had to have 12 grand down. Borrowed it from my father-in-law and everybody else. Actually sold my body for a week. That tells you how desperate I was. I bought a house. Shut up, Patrick. I bought a house. Does everybody get it? Get people into homes. So when you're out showing them, they say, I don't have enough money. Great. Say, you sound exactly like my broker. He is so old. He bought a house for 15.5%, but I'll tell you how I can make that happen. So did anybody read Jackie's feed? Oh, no, I'm not going to go there yet. Closing costs. Who can pay the closing costs? Seller. You go, Andrew, I can't get an offer accepted. Okay, that's your personal problem. Oh, we all went quiet in the room. That's called a dramatic interlude. I can't get anybody into a home. That's your problem. We sold 460 of them last year. Moises sold 9 of them this month. So if you can't get somebody into a home, it's a personal problem. Stop making it a market problem. Stop making it an interest rate problem. It's a belief problem. It's your problem. Get people into homes. Well, Andrew, I don't know how to do that. Then attend training. And in training, you hear about the 30,000-foot view. I'll tell you how to do it. You hear about how to do a buy down with 2 points, which gets them up 100 grand. I was just talking about it yesterday. You'll hear all of this stuff here. If you can't get somebody in homes, it's not my problem. It's not the buyer's problem. It's your problem. Get over your personal problem. If somebody wants to buy them a home, get them into a freaking home. It's the American dream. It's the American right to get into a home. Maybe what you say is too verbose. And you go, I can't sell them a home. Well, of course, they need a Google Translate to listen to you. You just got to give people a clear path how they get home. That's our job with these Zillow leads. Give them a clear path how to get home. Monique yesterday turned around a lead that was dead, got an $800,000 listing appointment. And even in the midst of that, she asked 5 questions at a time. I counted. She was gracious enough that she allowed me to coach her. And I said, you know what? Actually, when you ask people questions, they can only handle 1 at a time. So when you ask somebody a question, give them a chance to respond. You see what I mean? It's always a personal problem. Not selling is never a market problem. It's always a personal problem. I have sold 2,500 homes in every market that God and the devil together could invent. If you can't sell a home, it's a personal problem. Go to Rite Aid and buy something. So buying a home is about qualifying. Qualifying is about cash, DTI, and closing costs and down payment. Down payment, nobody can pay. Is that true? Thank you. Did anybody read Jackie's post this week? Did you read Jackie's post? Because if you say yes, I'm going to ask you what it was. Where did I put my glasses? Can't see a thing without my glasses. Give me my glasses, somebody. I'll put them down somewhere. Over here. Okay? So let's talk about Jackie's. Go on Slack, kids. Go on Slack. Go, 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 go. Go on. Look at this. This is just one example of about 100 possibilities there are in the state of California right now. Let's go to share my screen. Can I share my screen? Can you do it or I'll do it? Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm up, I'm on. I'm ready to go today. 66-year-old, I got more energy than all you 20-year-olds put together. Look at this right here. You got to drink 9 cups of coffee starting at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's my secret. All right, come on, guys. Let's go back here. It's in here. Where is it? Anybody find it yet? 10:48. Okay, let's go back to it. Where was it? Where was it? Help me out right here. Did I go back too far? I went back too far? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Watch this. I love this. Here's David Lever posting rates. Am I still there? Watch this, guys. There you go. All right, says Jackie. Good evening, team. Can't sleep. Yeah, another coffee guy. I want to share this exciting $25,000 grant program for the Long Beach residents and home buyers. Click on it. What do you have? Wow. The City of Long Beach Community Development Department is giving away $25,000. And what can you do with $25,000? Down payment. How many of you have shown a home in Long Beach? So this is an opportunity. Immediately go in, search your leads, look at all your Long Beach ones, copy this and send it out to 100 people today. Do you know who will do that? The people who are on the wall selling homes. All the rest of us with personal problems will just listen because your personal problem hasn't allowed you to create a discipline to leverage the opportunity there is in the United States of America. Right? You can never turn your phone off or your brain off in this business. This is a 24/7 business. We're operating with Amazon buyers. We're operating with Zillow leads. This right here says if they register today, they can be one of many thousands of people who are going to get $25,000 from the City of Long Beach for what? A down payment. How much is a down payment FHA on a $500,000 loan? $17,500. They can get $25,000. So you go, oh, Andrew, I hear it all the time. Oh, I've got leads in my Zillow and they don't have enough money to buy. Okay, where are you? I don't see you here. Those of you who I do see here, I don't see you. I would literally be addicted right now. I'd be on my Zillow just going through each one. Is the one there? Is the one there? There's another one, Long Beach. Yeah, there's another one, Long Beach. There's another one, Long Beach. I would do, they don't live in Long Beach. I would take this URL and I would send it out to 100 of my customers. Did you know the government's giving away money for down payment? What's that going to make people do? Call you back. When they call you back, what do? You open opportunity. That's why I say selling is not a market problem. It's a personal problem. I'm one of the most disciplined, motivated people you will meet in your entire life. If one chip of me comes off and falls on your block, you're going to make a fortune. So David started talking about closing costs. When you originate a loan, they originate something called an LE. The LE has to match the CD before you close. Just the fact that you know what an LE is going to show your client that you know what you're doing. Hey, by the way, our loan specialist is going to give you an LE and give you an idea of all the closing costs so you know exactly. By the way, are you going to pay your own closing costs or you want me to get those from the seller? Now you're going to work with me. Why? Because I don't have a personal problem. I educated myself. I instructed myself. I talked to myself in the mirror every day of my life to see, am I growing? Is my eye contact good? Is my vernacular good? Is my articulation good? Is the cohesive development of my thoughts being communicated clearly to my customer? Or am I just showing up because I can't wait to get out of it because I've got to go to a restaurant later on tonight? Cohesive articulation of deliberate purpose. That is our job. So we started this out today. I'll calm down a little bit so I don't have a heart attack. We started out today with closing costs. You need to know about closing costs. We heard from Tommy. When we give a standard quote on what closing costs are, that gives you an opportunity to show you're a professional. Hey, do you see right here? The government requires that we don't ever leave you short. She says $2,600. Hold on a second. Hey, Tommy, I'm with this lady, Annette. She wants to buy a home, and we're just going over a standard rate sheet here, and I see title insurance is around this. We're going to get the seller to pay for that, right? Yes. Yeah, did you hear that? We're going to get the seller to pay for it. Cool. There's a buyer's title insurance too, right? Yeah. Look, it says $700 here. What can you get that for? Tommy comes on. Hey, Tommy, this is Annette. Say hi to Annette real quick. Boom, that's done. Oh, it's not $700. It's $360. See, that saved you $340 with one call. Let's do another call right now and speak to my loan specialist. Oh, I can't get lenders to talk to. They've got their own lender. You've got a personal problem. The personal problem is strength, leadership. People will only go where you lead them. People spend 60, 70, 80 years of their lives chasing their tails and trying to pay off their debt. Your job as an ordained real estate minister with your Department of Real Estate number, your job is to show them salvation. Salvation is buying a home, because people who buy their home are 76% more likely to send their children to college. Now we're dealing with all those messy layers of our culture, with the underserved, the underprivileged, the underhelped, the underassisted, and we're stepping right in as the ministers of real estate saying we're going to bring healing to your family for generations to come. You may have been messed up generations back, but I'm here to make sure that you're a winner in the generations forward. So stop saying you can't sell. Stop saying they don't have enough money. Get over your personal problem. Prioritize your time, prioritize your brain, prioritize your purpose, that you are a missionary of real estate ownership. Pointless unless you have a microphone. What you say is way too good. You could catch? No. All right, this is Patrick, one of our top producers. Let's go.
Oh, so if you've got a client that's got no money but decent income and decent FICOs, then get shopping in Desert Hot Springs or someplace where you can do a USDA loan. That is a zero down payment program. It has lower DTIs, so they got to have a good FICO and they got to make some money. But if they get that and they don't have any cash, USDA, zero down payment. And we don't train that enough, honestly.
So bottom line, if people don't have down payment, do they have, just hold on to it, May, you can give it to the next person. It's a smart guy. Look, people don't have down payment, find them a down payment program. Find the cities that have down payment assistance and show them homes in those cities. Why would you show somebody a home they can't buy? Show them something they can't. Oh, Andrew, that's my problem. They only want a home in that zip code. No, you haven't gotten into their how, where, why, and when. That's your personal problem. You haven't learned yet how to talk to other human beings without flapping your own lips 1,900 miles an hour. You know what, Howard? This sucks. You can't get your kids into that school district. One thing I know for certain, that if you rent and pay some landlord's loan for the next 20 years, your kids will never be in that school district. My mission is to get you in that school district. That means we need to get you more money than you've got right now. That gives you two options. You need to save $150,000 in the next 2 years, right? Yeah, that's roughly $6,000 a month. Can you save $6,000 a month? No. Our second choice is that we establish you in real estate and get you 150 grand's equity in the next 2 to 3 years. Turn around, call me back. We'll have the down payment. You'll be making more money. You can afford a higher payment. We'll put your kids in the school. The only opportunity you have to buy a home, I hope you're listening to me, because some of you are converting at 2%. That's not good enough. The only opportunity you have to get your kids in this district is to buy real estate. And you're going to need to compromise your area. I don't like it. You don't like it. Your other choice is move to Oklahoma. But if you're going to live here, you have to make logistical decisions. And I'm here to make that happen. Are you willing to live in a school district that's not perfect right now and a home that's not perfect right now, so that 3 years from now you can take your child by the hand and walk them up to the steps of their middle school and they know that they're in the district that they deserve to be in and you want them to be in? Are you willing to sacrifice for your children? Because if you are, I'm your real estate agent. Got it? So selling is a personal challenge and a personal problem for those who can't do it. Here's a personal problem with people who can't sell. I feel like I'm being too pushy. You can't convert somebody unless you push a little bit. That's a personal problem. It's a personal perspective that you have, that if you help somebody make a decision, you are being a cheesy salesman. No, you're not. You're an ambulance driver. Last time I was bleeding and went into ICU, last time I got sepsis and was almost dying 3 years ago, I did not complain when the doctor came out. I didn't ask their name. I didn't ask their number. I didn't ask their license. I knew I had hours to live. Did I care that that doctor said, give me your arm, give me your other arm, give me your arm, give me your neck, sticking stuff in my body everywhere? Yeah, 3 hours later, I survived. 6. She was sitting there bawling. Fact. So if you're saying, oh, I feel like I'm being too pushy, you have a personal problem. You don't believe enough in real estate and you don't believe enough in yourself. Believe, team members. Believe that you are put on this earth to help underprivileged people become homeowners and generationally transform their families. You're part of trusts. You're part of investment units. You're part of accrual of capital. You're part of accrual of net worth. You're part of diminishing debt, increasing assets, balancing balance sheets for the parents that you're with and their children and their children's children. So next time you come to me and say, I can't find them a home, you have a personal problem. Face it or you will never make money in this business. Y'all think I've got some passion? We're working for the biggest real estate enterprise on earth. 815 times a month. Do not take no unless they've got blood oozing out of their head and just got shot. That's probably a no.
Not definitely.
Because you know what? I'm going to be pitching the ambulance driver because he's got kids. And that guy probably doesn't want his kids to pick up people who just got shot in the head. He wants his kid to sit in a nice, safe office, not stand on a freeway where a drunk driver can come by, hit the ambulance driver like happened to one of our friends and kill him too. That person's serving a partial life sentence. You go, Andrew, you're pretty dramatic. Hey, you got a real estate license. You should have thought about it before you got that license. You got a license to be a missionary to the history of the United States of America, to generationally change people's lives. I didn't get my license for that. I read somebody yesterday, he applied for a job, and it said on their job description, it said, I got my license so that I could work less and make more money than I've ever made before in my life. That's been real estate agent since 1905. That's changing right in front of our eyes. That's why you see real estate offices diminishing. That's why you see their space dropping. That's why you saw 30,000 people drop out of the real estate business in January alone from the National Association of Realtors. Why? Because we bought a concept that happened in 1905 and no longer happens, because now the world has woken up. You can't cut pieces off women's bodies in some Far Eastern country and get away with it, because we've got something called cell phones. You can't brutalize people. You can't monopolize people. You can't collude against people because somebody's going to put it on a cell phone. And you can no longer say, this is about me. This is not about me. When you have a license issued by the government, it's about them. We got these licenses for them. It's about their time schedule. Now it's our job to articulate ourselves clearly enough. Not that you get a superstar badge, which you will, but they get a superstar family. We're in the life-transforming business. And if you're at 1% conversion rate, you got a personal problem. It is not the leads. It is not the ICAs. Believe in yourself. Believe in the system and act upon it. I had none of that planned today. Wow. Okay, what was I supposed to talk about? Oh, yeah. Did you get the closing costs? We did. Closing costs, bottom line is, you're going to get closing costs from your loan officer, and you're going to use that document to reaffirm how you're on their side. Did everybody understand that? Let's have a look at this. You know what? I can get this done. Let me just call Tommy right now. You're starting with three-way transfers. Look at this right here. It says you need this much money FHA. Well, I happen to know that you can actually finance some of that mortgage insurance premium up front with FHA. I know you can get that done. Let me make a call right now. You make that call. You three-way transfer with David. You three-way transfer with Jackie. You three-way transfer with one of the Zillow Home Loans experts. And they'll turn right around and say, yeah, that $19,000, you actually don't need that. We can show you how you can finance that through Financed FHA MIP, right? It's huge.
Gives you an opportunity to call and have your clients win you over saying, wow, you just saved me from a phone call $800 or whatever.
Does everybody understand that? Did everybody online get this? Believe in yourself. Understand the system, show people how you will save the money and how you're working for them. Then you turn around and say, okay, here it comes. Here it comes. Listen, write it down, say it, right? To me, if you hear somebody as intelligent as I am, yeah, for a minute, I'm going to say it, who's done this 2,500 times, who's been in Time Magazine and being 29th in the world, right? And you don't write it down, you got a personal problem. You know what that problem is? You think you know too much. We grow when we learn. We grow when we become aware of ourselves. When you go over these closing costs, you're now going to introduce Victoria, that you're going to write an offer for them, and you're going to say, you know what? When I write an offer for you, I want to make sure that we get as many of these closing costs paid as possible. Would you prefer that? You want to pay the closing costs yourself. Now, look, we might come in a competitive situation where there's three other buyers and the closing costs aren't going to be paid. In that instance, you are going to need to make a decision, and I will do what you say. And that decision might be you're going to walk away from that property. The decision also might be that you use your 401k, pay your own closing costs, and your child gets in that school. So you're going to have a confrontation between your 401k and your children. You let me know what you decide. So I started by saying, when I show you property, I'm going to show you what it's going to cost you, and I'll do whatever I can to get those costs covered by the seller or those costs absorbed by the lender. But if we're in a competitive situation, you're excited about your child changing their life, you may need to use your 401k. In that instance, you're going to have to tell me your decision. Is it your child or your 401k? I can't say that. You got a personal problem. I don't want to push that hard. You got a personal problem. When you see that child in some substandard community college, and they could have gone to a 4-year college because they're a brilliant chemist or a brilliant physicist, and you can't learn that on YouTube, and they don't want an earring and a tattoo, they want a real freaking job, and they can't go to that college because you couldn't push hard enough to change that family's destiny, that's a personal problem.